I didn't want to be a movie star, first of all. I just felt people in LA and movie industry, they were all messed up. I didn't want to be like that.
For over 5 decades, Goldie Hawn has been Hollywood's quintessential golden girl. Her infectious laugh and bubbly personality have made her one of the most beloved actresses of all time. She is the literal embodiment of sunshine, a walking, talking sparkle of joy whose on-screen presence has defined feel-good cinema for generations. We see Goldie, and we smile. It's an involuntary reaction, a testament to a carefully crafted public persona that has stood the test of time, but has that iconic smile, a smile that has sold billions in movie tickets, been hiding a history of on-set turmoil. That's the billion-dollar question. While Goldie herself has always maintained a graceful public silence, industry rumors and whispers from behind the scenes have lingered for years, painting a picture of a woman who had to fight for respect in a tough business. So, let's be clear, Goldie Hawn has not come forward with a public hate list, but over the years, a collection of stories has emerged, passed down through crew members and insiders, pointing to a handful of co-stars who allegedly made her life incredibly difficult. These aren't just tales of creative differences, they are persistent rumors of disrespect and on-set tension. Today, we're not claiming to speak for Goldie, but we are going to dive into the long-simmering accounts that have followed her career for decades. We're pulling back the curtain on the unofficial, unconfirmed, but deeply fascinating list of the 6 actors who, according to Hollywood legend, Goldie would rather not work with again. Kicking off our list is an actor who was the epitome of 1970s and 80s swagger, Burt Reynolds. On paper, putting Goldie Hawn and Burt Reynolds together was a cinematic slam dunk. Both had a magnetic, easy charm, and they were giants of the rom-com genre. In 1982, they finally teamed up for the film Best Friends, a story about 2 screenwriting partners whose relationship is tested when they decide to get married. On screen, the chemistry worked, at least for a while. The first half of the film shows an easy rapport, filled with the kind of banter audiences loved from both stars. They were believable as friends and lovers, and publicly, they were 2 pros at the top of their game. Behind the scenes, however, rumors have long suggested the dynamic was far more complicated. According to industry whispers from that era, the set of Best Friends wasn't the lighthearted playground it seemed. Burt Reynolds, at the time, had a well-earned reputation as a high-profile womanizer, and this allegedly colored his on-set interactions. While no one ever reported shouting matches, insiders have described a palpable friction between the 2 stars. The conflict was rumored to be a clash of egos and work styles. Reynolds was known for a more cavalier attitude, while Hawn was deeply invested in the film's emotional core. Furthermore, Hawn was entering a new phase of her career. She had recently produced and starred in Private Benjamin, earning her 2nd Oscar nomination. She was a powerhouse producer, not just an actress for hire. Reynolds was the established male star, used to being the center of gravity on set. This reportedly created a quiet power struggle. While Goldie has always been diplomatic, even sharing a kind tribute after his death, it's telling that they never worked together again. The on-screen pairing that should have been a repeatable box office hit was a one-time event, leading many to believe that the on-set friction was more than just a rumor. Coming in at number 5 is a comedy icon whose genius, for both physical and intellectual humor, made him a legend, Steve Martin. When it was announced that Goldie would star opposite Martin in the 1992 comedy Hauser, it sounded like a perfect match. Martin, the wild and crazy guy, paired with Hawn, the giggling, effervescent bombshell. The movie, a classic farce, relied entirely on their clashing personalities creating comedic sparks. And on screen, they pulled it off. Martin and Hawn are both seasoned professionals who delivered the laughs and made Hauser a memorable hit. They looked like a natural fit. 2 comedy titans enjoying a playful cinematic dance. But the story that has persisted for decades is one of a challenging and creatively frustrating set. Again, no overt animosity was ever reported, but rumors swirled about a fundamental clash of comedic philosophies. Steve Martin is famously meticulous, a writer who treats a script with near-sacred reverence. His comedy is often cerebral and precisely timed. Goldie Hawn, on the other hand, thrives on spontaneity. Her genius lies in her reactive, into-moment energy. This difference in approach reportedly led to on-set friction. According to insider accounts, Martin found Hawn's improvisational style undisciplined, while Hawn found his rigid adherence to the script creatively stifling. Rehearsals were said to be tense, with Martin wanting to lock down every line, while Hawn wanted to explore the scene to find organic moments of humor. It wasn't about one being right and the other wrong, but 2 different artistic processes colliding. There were allegedly long periods of silence between takes, lacking the easy camaraderie you might expect. Both have always been publicly gracious, but the proof may be in the pudding. They were 2 of the biggest comedy stars of the era, yet they never worked together again. This next entry is different. It's not about on-set friction or a clash of professional egos. This one is deeply personal. a story of love, family, and public betrayal that struck at the very core of Goldie Hawn's life. At number 4 is musician Bill Hudson, her second husband and the father of her children, Oliver and Kate Hudson. Their public story began like a fairy tale. They met on a flight in 1975, and the connection was electric. To the world, they were the golden couple, the radiant movie star, and the handsome teen idol from the Hudson brothers. Their marriage and the births of their children seemed to complete the perfect Hollywood picture, but the reality was a relationship crumbling under the pressures of fame and mismatched values. Their divorce in 1982 was bitter, but it was the decades that followed that have been most telling. After their split, Goldie found lasting love with Kurt Russell, who became a devoted father figure to Kate and Oliver. As Goldie and Kurt's love story became one of Hollywood's most celebrated, Bill Hudson began a public campaign of recrimination. He has repeatedly gone to the press and even wrote a tell-all book, claiming Goldie willfully alienated him from their children. He has accused her of turning their split into a better story by painting him as the villain once Kurt Russell was in the picture. In one particularly painful public moment, after his son Oliver posted Happy Abandonment Day on Father's Day, Bill told a reporter he considered himself a father of 3, not 5, and asked Kate and Oliver to stop using the Hudson name. Throughout all of this, Goldie Hawn has maintained a remarkable and steely silence, never once publicly trashing her ex-husband. Her focus has always been on protecting her children. Friends and insiders have said that this ongoing public narrative has caused her immense pain, not for herself, but for her kids. The pain here isn't about a difficult movie shoot. It's about the alleged public attempt by the father of her children to tear down the family she worked so hard to protect. At number 3, we have a man who was more than a movie star. He was a Hollywood institution, a legendary actor, director, and producer, and arguably the most famous ladies' man of his generation, Warren Beatty. They worked together on the iconic 1975 satire Shampoo. On screen, the chemistry was electric and complicated. Beatty starred as a promiscuous Beverly Hills hairdresser, and Hawn played his frustrated girlfriend. The film also starred Julie Christie, another of Beatty's famous real-life romantic partners, creating a meta-narrative of life imitating art. However, the behind-the-scenes reality was allegedly a masterclass in ego, with Beatty not just as a co-star but as the film's co-writer and producer. According to Hollywood lore, Beatty was known for pursuing his female co-stars, but Goldie politely and firmly made it clear she wasn't interested. When his romantic advances were rebuffed, rumors began that Beatty's attitude shifted from charming to cold. The set of Shampoo was reportedly an environment of intense pressure, largely due to Beatty's perfectionism. He was notorious for demanding countless takes, a process that was exhausting for his fellow actors. In her memoir, co-star Lee Grant recalled that after one particularly grueling scene that required over 100 takes, Goldie Hawn went outside and threw up from the stress. While Beatty might have called it a search for perfection, for others, it felt like a grueling exercise in dominance. Goldie never spoke of it publicly, but her actions spoke volumes. It has been said that whenever studios would later suggest Beatty for a role, the idea was immediately shut down, a quiet but firm indicator of a door that had been permanently locked. The name at our number 2 spot belongs to one of the most acclaimed actors of his generation, Dustin Hoffman. This story, however, isn't about a film set. It's about a single, rumored incident in a casting room that was so humiliating it allegedly led to Goldie blacklisting him for life. The on-screen pairing, in this case, was one that never came to be. In the late 1970s, Goldie was reportedly invited to a chemistry read for a major drama with Hoffman, a huge opportunity for her to further showcase her dramatic range. But the reality of what allegedly unfolded was a brutal takedown disguised as artistic feedback, according to detailed insider accounts that have become Hollywood legend. Just as Hawn was getting into the scene, Hoffman stopped her cold. He then reportedly turned to the producers and, with a condescending smirk, said something to the effect of, "She's still playing it like it's a sitcom." The insult was sharp and public. It was reportedly an act of dominance, a power play from a serious actor dismissing her talent. Goldie didn't argue. She didn't break down. She finished the reading with icy professionalism, walked out, and her agent later informed the production she was no longer interested. This incident, though, unconfirmed by either star, has become a defining legend in her career. It's a brutal lesson in the casual cruelty of Hollywood egos. For over 40 years, their paths have never crossed professionally, while Hoffman has faced other accusations over the years. This quiet, unverified story has persisted as a testament to Goldie's refusal to be belittled. It wasn't just about losing a role, it was about refusing to work with someone who wouldn't take her seriously from the start. And now, we arrive at the number 1 spot. This name allegedly represents the pinnacle of on-set toxicity, a collaboration that should have been a comedic dream, but, according to multiple accounts, devolved into a nightmare. Topping the list is the comedy icon, Chevy Chase. The on-screen illusion was pure magic. The 1978 film Foul Play was a massive hit. Thanks to the quirky and charming chemistry between Goldie Hawn and Chevy Chase, they were so good together they were paired again 2 years later in Seems Like Old Times. To the public, they were a perfect comedic duo. But the behind-the-scenes reality was, by many accounts, a horror show, allegedly due to Chase's behavior. Fresh off his breakout success from Saturday Night Live, Chase reportedly brought a massive ego to the set. Insiders from the Foul Play production have described him as moody, unpredictable, and deeply disrespectful. He would allegedly launch into angry rants, undermine the director, and refuse to shoot scenes unless he got more punchlines. For Goldie, the alleged abuse was far more personal. Chase, a master of sarcasm, reportedly weaponized his humor against her, making relentless, degrading comments about her persona and undermining her comedic abilities in front of the crew. One crew member recalled Chase making a joke at Goldie's expense in front of everyone, and while she said nothing, her demeanor changed. As the shoot dragged on, their relationship reportedly disintegrated into a frosty silence, only speaking when the cameras were rolling. Despite the success of their films, Goldie Hawn never worked with Chevy Chase again. When asked, years later, about a potential sequel, her response was swift and telling: "Some things are better left in the past." It was her final, dignified word on the matter. Chevy Chase's widely reported on-set behavior allegedly did more than create a toxic work environment. It solidified Goldie Hawn's resolve to never again suffer for her art. For decades, Goldie Hawn has projected an image of effortless joy. But as these long-standing rumors and stories reveal, that golden exterior protects a core of unshakable strength and self-respect. The names on this list: Burt Reynolds, Steve Martin, Bill Hudson, Warren Beatty, Dustin Hoffman, and Chevy Chase represent a pattern of behavior that many women in Hollywood have had to endure: disrespect, dismissal, and the casual cruelty of unchecked egos. From rumored power plays to public family feuds, Goldie Hawn has navigated it all, and yet, her story is one of resilience, not victimhood. It is crucial to state again that Goldie Hawn herself has never publicly confirmed a list, or sat down for a tele interview to settle scores. She has always chosen a path of dignity. But the persistent rumors and the patterns of her career tell a story of their own. She didn't need to shout from the rooftops. She simply walked away, taking control of her own career by forming her own production company and creating films that celebrated her talent on her own terms. Her legacy, therefore, is twofold. There's the Goldie, the world loves the star with the infectious giggle. But there's also the Goldie who fought quiet battles and won, who set firm boundaries, and who refused to let anyone dim her light. She proved that a woman could be both golden and made of steel.